Acting Deputy Chief Justice Justice Madlanga will give an update today on the Commission of Inquiry into alleged criminality, political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system. Now, the briefing does come just days after the inquiry's terms of reference were gazetted. The commission, to be led by Madlanga, will investigate the alleged role of current as well as former senior officials in aiding criminal activity, failing to act on intelligence or benefiting from syndicates. President Cyril Ramaphosa expects the first report from the commission within 3 months. Now, we do, of course, have more on the story that we're going to, in fact, give you as well. And as we lead up to it, let's cross on over to Linda Mnisi, who's tracking the story for us, of course, joining us live out of Sandton ahead of that briefing then. Linda, the terms of reference, the proclamation notice ultimately being gazetted and being put forward, I suppose in many ways one could say the battle lines have officially been drawn.
Well, in fact, it sets in motion, that particular commission that, is expected, to start after the Deputy Chief Justice, Justice Madlanga, goes on retirement. He's expected to go on retirement, as of Thursday this week. So there is, of course, a level of preparation for his retirement. You would have seen earlier today the judiciary issuing out a statement really to bid him farewell and to reflect on the work that he's done in the judiciary and the years that he's spent there. Ultimately, of course, in preparation for what will be, this commission that he takes, over when, of course, he goes on retirement. But this is an important commission that will probe the explosive allegations that were made by the KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. And like you indicate, the terms of reference have now been issued out. But, we've come a long way, because if you look back, that particular explosive briefing happened earlier this month, the first week of July, and, we're nearing the end of the month, and now we have those terms of reference. But I want us to start by taking a look at what happened following, that explosive briefing, particularly because there was a lot of pressure for President Cyril Ramaphosa to take action, given that, the allegations leveled against, some of the most senior people in the SAPS, including, of course, the police minister, Senzo Mchunu, spoke to perhaps a fragmented, institution that needed urgent intervention. And the president came back, hosting that media briefing to sort of indicate that this journey would then be taken. Take a listen to what the president had to say.
To address these allegations and the implications of these allegations, I'm establishing a judicial commission of inquiry that will be chaired by Acting Deputy Chief Justice Justice Madlanga. Justice Madlanga will be assisted by Advocate Sesi Baloyi, Senior Counsel, and Advocate Sandile Khumalo, Senior Counsel. The Commission will investigate allegations relating to the infiltration of law enforcement, intelligence, and associated institutions within the criminal justice system by criminal syndicates.
In that specific briefing, Arabile, would also recall that the president also announced that the police minister, that is Senzo Mchunu, would be put on a special leave. And of course, there was reaction coming from him in terms of, what he made of this, given that the president had also announced that a commission would be established to probe these explosive allegations that had been leveled, against him and his alleged ties to drug syndicates. Take a listen to what the police minister had to say.
In order for the commission to execute its functions effectively, I have decided to put the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, on leave of absence with immediate effect. The minister has undertaken to give his full cooperation to the commission to enable it to work properly. I have decided to appoint Professor Firoz Kachalia as Acting Minister of Police, Professor Kachalia is currently a professor of law at the University of the Witwatersrand and is the chairperson of the National Anti-Corruption Advisory Council. He previously served as an MEC of Community Safety in Gauteng.
Of course, that decision, Arabile, has led to a lot of reaction, particularly in the political sphere, with now the MK party taking the president to court over whether or not he has the powers to, of course, implement such a decision. But today we're learning, we're going to learn really about this particular commission and, the work that will be done amidst a lot of skepticism, really about, what will happen after it, considering, of course, as you mentioned earlier in your introduction, that there's a lot of concern about the other commissions and the implementation of those recommendations that came from those recommendations. So will this be any different is the question. But I tell you what, the stage has already been set. I'll ask my colleague Thabo to just give you a sense of what the room is like. The stage is already set for that briefing, which will take place in under an hour, which will give us really a sense of what will happen. The expectation is also, Arabile, that perhaps there will be an announcement of more evidence, leaders given, of course, the scope of work and the timelines that have been given to this particular commission. You'd know that the president had already indicated that he's expecting a report in 3 months, and then of course another one in 6 months. Will they be able to get through all the witnesses and all the evidence that is going to be presented in this particular commission is the question. And are the timelines realistic given the work that will be undergone, or rather the work that will be undertaken by this particular commission, Arabile? So we'll get to know exactly come 4 o'clock what will happen next.
In fact, it's section 13 of this government gazette item then that really stipulates that the commission shall submit an interim report within 3 months of its establishment then, and a final report within 6 months of its establishment, or such extended period as the president may determine. Will we see an extension? Big question marks on that one. Linda Mnisi giving us the latest on that. Of course, we'll be following through on that as it comes through then in just under an hour's time.
Justice Madlanga's key updates on the police inquiry. Justice Madlanga, chairperson of the newly established Judicial Commission of Inquiry into allegations of political interference and corruption within the South African Police Service, SAPS, assured the public during a media briefing on Monday that preparations are well underway. Hearings are expected to begin in August. The commission is currently in its setup phase. The commission was established by President Cyril Ramaphosa following explosive allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Mlallam Mkhwanatsi. Madlanga stated that although Mkhwanatsi's claims prompted the inquiry, the process must follow due diligence before any public hearings can commence. The fact that General Mkhwanatsi made the allegations doesn't mean we are immediately ready for hearings, Madlanga said. There must first be assessments and further consultations. Highlights from the briefing. Where will the hearings take place? Hearings are set to take place in Gauteng. A procurement process for a venue is underway. Once secured, the public will be informed of the location as well as how to submit information online to assist the inquiry. When will the inquiry start? Madlanga stated that while the inquiry may start in August, there is no confirmed date, yet due to ongoing preparatory work, including consultations and evidence assessments. We assure South Africans that we are treating the matter with the urgency it deserves, said Madlanga, emphasizing the seriousness of the allegations. It's worth noting that the commission has already begun work, with consultation with a first witness described as imminent. Madlanga, a former candidate for Chief Justice and widely respected jurist, reiterated the importance of public trust and transparency. Given the gravity of these allegations, it is important that we brief the public about our progress. The commission spokesperson, Jeremy Michaels, opened the briefing on Monday and stressed the importance of punctuality and structure. This commission was formed after Mkhwanatsi's claims that senior police officials, including Police Minister Sensom Chinu, were involved in criminal syndicates and had interfered in politically sensitive investigations, including disbanding elite units tasked with corruption probes. The inquiry will run with Parliament's investigations, and calls are mounting from police unions and civil society for urgent presidential intervention at SAPS to restore public confidence. Like and subscribe now.